Big data has been released that Korea will definitely stand out among countries around the world in the future. Where did the source of the information begin? In the future, the Republic of Korea will evolve spiritually and become an exemplary nation around the world, and become a central country that presents the right direction for the global community. If the Korean peninsula is unified, it will emerge as the strongest country spiritually as well as economically. Among Koreans who have grown spiritually since the global transformation incident caused by the law of causality, spiritual leaders will emerge and the world will recover to the center of Korea and peace will come. Take a closer look. They're same words. It's spiritual maturity. What on earth did they think the Republic of Korea was related to spiritual things? At first, Osori thought that spiritual maturity was connected to the eternal cycle of birth, death, and regeneration common in Eastern cultures. But when I think about it, I approached it from a new perspective because it would be difficult to accept in Western culture. So, in line with Western culture, spiritual maturity was approached as a second meaning, the meaning of mental maturity. What's really surprising is the fact that Korean culture has mental maturity. It is all charir, which is famous in Korean military culture. Usually, many people in the military misunderstand this culture as a corporal punishment culture, but in fact, it is a traditional Korean culture with a history of correcting the spirit through physical training. Anyone with military experience can relate to this. People who join the military must be trained to suffer physical and mental pain for a month to be eligible to become soldiers. In the process, people realize how much training affects their mental strength. The reason why this culture emerged in Korea was that the unique topography of the Korean peninsula, which is strategically advantageous, also played a part. Looking at the Korean peninsula as the center, the country on the right is a land of opportunity for South Korea to advance to the continent. And the country on the left is a land of opportunity for South Korea to advance to the Pacific Ocean. And the northern country is also a land of opportunity for the Republic of Korea to get a floating port. So, I thought that the ancestors of Korea, who have experienced this confrontation several times, might have created a culture of strengthening their mental strength for future generations. In fact, this is a story to liven up the atmosphere. The real story starts now. From now on, we will learn about the spiritual maturity culture of Korea. We should pay attention to the Pyeongchang Olympics and Squid Games that have attracted people around the world, because it contains the core code of our 9,000-year-old spirit culture. First, let's look at the Pyeongchang Olympics. If you look at the opening ceremony of the 2018 Winter Olympics, you will see a unique number concept symbolizing the heaven, the earth, and humanity in the drum sound that marks the beginning. This scene, shout out the heaven at the first drum sound, and shout out the earth at the second drum sound.
Harmony.
And the last third drum sound calls for humanity. This is the concept of numbers that can only be seen in Cheonbukyeong, the core of the 9,000-year Korean spiritual culture. One is the beginning. From nothingness begins one. One divides into the three ultimates, yet remains an inexhaustible source. Rising from one, heaven is one. Rising from one, earth is two. Rising from one, humanity is three. One accumulates and climaxes at 10, as three governs the change of all things. Based on two, heaven changes under three. Based on two, earth changes under three. Based on two, humanity lives under three. The great three unite into six, which then gives rise to 7, 8, and 9. Everything moves in accordance with 3 and 4. Everything circulates under 5 and 7. One proliferates in mysterious ways, evolving in perpetual cycles, and these functions ultimately transform into immutable substance. The basis of the universe is the mind. which shines radiantly like the sun. Humanity, united with heaven and earth, attains the ultimate oneness. One is the end. In nothingness ends one. This amazing scripture is the first scripture of human enlightenment to express the principles of operation of heaven and earth in numbers. Also, it can be the key to interpreting ancient ruins known as mysteries around the world. Mystery lovers know all the mysteries we have discovered so far are the history and culture lost on Earth. And if you have the key to interpreting ancient artifacts common around the world, there will be a big event to decode the spiritual culture of all civilizations. And next, the core code of Qian Buqiang also appears in the Squid Game that swept the hearts of viewers around the world. It's these people. These are the 3 geometric patterns on the helmets these people are wearing. Why in the world did I think the celestial scriptures were related to geometric patterns? To understand the reason, you have to look at Wandangogi, the ancient history of the Korean people, which contains the culture and spirit of 9,000 years ago. According to the old customs of Samhain, a big festival took place in the country on October. The theme of the event was to hold ancestral rites to heaven, earth, and ancestors. A ritual for heaven was held in a round platform. A ritual for the earth was held on a square hill. And a ritual for ancestors was held on a tree. Triangle tree is a record. It also shows what it means in a circle, a square, and a triangle. A circle is 1. It means the spirit of endlessness in the heaven. A square is 2. It refers to the spirit of the earth in contrast to heaven. A triangle is 3. It means the great ultimate spirit of humanity, the master of heaven and earth. And what is even more surprising is the fact that Western culture also explains it in a similar way. It's in the Michael Schneider book. The circle symbolizes the number 1 and is the source of all shapes. Circle is a symbol of the height of perfection and means heaven, paradise, and eternity. And the square symbolizes the earth. And the triangle refers to the completed state of an object. What can be seen here is that no matter how Eastern and Western cultures were created today, the consciousness embedded in their minds goes beyond cultural differences. So, I think it's because there was a universal spirit culture in ancient times. The reason is that not only the relics mentioned above, but also ruins showing geometric shapes of circles, squares, and triangles are being discovered one after another. If historians around the world studied the connection between Qian Buqiang and geometric shapes without any cultural prejudice, I think there will be a big event to interpret mysterious traditional cultures and ruins around the world. Unfortunately, Korean schools do not teach this great Qian Buqiang. The reason is that history is distorted by oppression and remnants during the Japanese colonial period. And Korea's history and culture are increasingly being taken away by China's meticulous Northeast process. Then, how does the Republic of Korea bring about spiritual maturity around the world? Are all 3 people's prophecies wrong? But it is still too early to give up hope. The reason is that STB broadcasting stations exist in Korea. STB broadcasting station is the only one in Korea to inform the true history and culture of Korea and, above all, to teach high quality about Qian Buqiang, which can be the key to spiritual maturity.